Talk. So today we're going to be talking about Facebook Shop. And this actually just was announced last week by Facebook. We're really excited to talk about it and for the opportunities that it might bring. And basically, in case you haven't heard about it yet, this will allow you to set your shop natively on Facebook, also Instagram, and they're building it out that it would even be on WhatsApp and Messenger as well. So we're really excited about that and just to see everything that happens with it. But we're just going to give you a little feedback on what we think is good about it and bad about it. So starting off, Chris is here. He's going to tell us a little bit of what he thinks was really great about it.
Yeah, so this announcement from Facebook is pretty interesting because it's sort of just the next step in all of the evolution of all these different things happening with these big platforms. So you look at Amazon, you look at Shopify, you look at some of these other e-commerce platforms. This is sort of, in some ways, it's the same thing that Facebook has been doing and Instagram has been doing. If you remember, they had Instagram shopping, which was basically a way that you took your product catalog, pushed it into Instagram, and then allowed people to tap and see what products that they can go ahead and buy, right? Click and go ahead and buy. The difference between this and what Instagram shopping was is it allows you to actually check out within these apps versus linking out or posting or putting out an external checkout to wherever that product catalog had sent them. So in some ways, it's Facebook kind of wanting to get into the game of like the e-commerce platform. But in other ways, it's also kind of the same evolution you saw a few weeks ago where Shopify almost kind of was doing a similar thing or had a similar announcement with Pinterest where they're doing their connection and making sure that their product catalog gets set up and get pushed in. That's more akin to the old kind of version of Instagram shopping, but it's all kind of one and the same, right? They're trying to do the same sort of thing. They say, Facebook says, and I think this is probably going to be true, sort of like how Shopify had encouraged people to get online and become, merchants very easily, get set up very easily, that it'll allow businesses to do commerce online much faster, much quicker, much easier. It will allow people who are looking to check out that want some sense of legitimacy or want some sense of like, is this business real or is there kind of a vetting here that, Facebook will take care of that. People will be more likely to buy. The checkout process will be more seamless. So possibly conversion rates will go up. I think that remains to be seen, but it does kind of make sense. People trust, in some ways they trust Facebook. They don't necessarily trust Facebook, but they trust them to at least hold their credit card information and allow that somebody to check out and get the thing that they want them, that they're looking to buy. So yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Jake. I'll see what her thoughts are because I know that there's the other side of this, right? There's a lot of different things that could happen from this, whether good or bad. So I don't know, Jacob, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like this is a good thing or a bad thing?
So I totally agree with a lot of your points about, especially for new e-commerce platform or new e-commerce shops, right? So folks who may have been like hit really hard by the COVID thing and like are thinking about moving some of their inventory online for the first time, right? So there's not going to be like some setup fee. You're not going to have to pay like for a domain and pay Shopify. Like there's a lot less, I guess, like capital required. And it sounds like there's a lot less time invested. So yes, all good points. Some good points around like keeping people within the platform, providing legitimacy. I have a couple things. So I want to say that my biggest caution is, for one thing, Facebook has been trying to do this kind of thing for a little bit now. Like you said, like everybody's kind of moving in this direction. And I'm like down for being able to like tap an organic photo and be able to shop products from there. Totally cool. Where we start to run into trouble is if that's the only way people are going to buy from your shop. That means Facebook owns all of your customers and all of your data. And if you advertise on Amazon, or if you're selling on Amazon, you already know the just inherent annoyance and trouble of not really being able to contact your customers. Amazon's the only one that can do that. And I can see Facebook heading in that direction. So that's Mark's a good guy and all, but he's not doing this out of like the, goodness of his heart to help businesses out. He's looking for more data and more customer information. And to have him in a few years like rip the blanket out from underneath businesses and be like, guess what, you can only talk to people through Facebook now. I feel like that's a really strong possibility. So yeah. I would say if you're already like you're already advertising, right? And you already have your Shopify or your WooCommerce or whatever it is set up, especially if you have things like bundles or upsells or a discount pop up to get someone on your email list. You're not going to be able to do those things in Facebook, at least not yet. And for another thing, there's no need. You're already sending people from an ad to another place. So it's a quick jump, and 99.99% of the time, it really doesn't need to be native within the platform, especially when you're giving up so much control. So I'd say, all right, go ahead and hook your catalog up to shop. And if people want to go to your Facebook page and then go to the shop tab on your Facebook page to shop from it, or if you want to have some of your organic posts be shoppable, those are both fine. But for your ads, for the things you're spending money on, or the majority of your customers searching for you organically, you want them to go to something you own. So that's
Yeah.
my biggest thing.
I also read that, I don't know if this number is 100% true, I'd have to look into this, but their cut is like 5%, which is more than double what you're going to see on an e-commerce platform. So right there is one way to kind of deter it. The other thing, like you mentioned with the customer data, not just customer data, like in terms of you being able to, create the experience for the customer, it's likely that a lot of the tracking will not be set up. Like you can't connect your Google Analytics to what you're seeing in Amazon. It's very possible and probably true that you're not going to be able to do the same thing within Facebook. You'll basically look to Facebook, the Facebook Pixel and Facebook Analytics as your true source of data versus right now, a lot of people use Google Analytics as that kind of sense to
Yeah,
look at those
and I
numbers.
think that's problematic for any sort of running a business, right? While you always want to be able to have a source of truth, you also want to be able to like verify it with several other sources, right? You want to look at analytics and Facebook and Google Ads if you're running them. You want to see what those three different platforms are sort of saying about their own performance, but also check it against something else. So without a balancing check, like it, I think back to like when Facebook was a little, how we say, they exaggerated the reach and the efficiency of their video ads when those first came out a couple of years ago. I'm dating myself here, but I just think that we get into some sort of shady situations that if you're already set up somewhere else on something you own, I don't think it's worth it to delve too far into it. However, if you're not set up on anything, you don't have a lot of capital, and you want to get into this and see if a product that you want to sell works, it's fairly inefficient and low cost. So as long as you don't plan to stick it out, I don't think it's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some great points, guys. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Jacob, and thank you, Chris. And hey, let us know if you're trying Facebook Shop. Let us know your thoughts on all of this, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Thanks.